Jerry Seinfeld tells a joke. The number one fear for people is public speaking. And the number two fear is death. Which means at a funeral you would rather be in the casket than giving the eulogy. Now you know where I'm at. For those of you that don't know, I'm a software engineer. I'm also a systems engineer. I can't tell you the number of computers that I've built and rebuilt over these last 30-some years of being a nerd. I'm a nerd. I have absolutely no qualifications to stand up here and preach. As a kid, my family did not really attend church very often. Once in a while, it seemed like we went to Christmas and Easter. And all I know about this stuff is what I've learned here with you and what I picked up over the years reading the Bible. What all this means is that this is going to be a considerably shorter sermon. If you are considering filling in for pastor, and I would encourage you to do so, one thing you want to do, check the scripture for the week before you volunteer. Brothers and sisters, these are some doozies. Vanity of vanities, says the preacher. Vanity of vanities, all is vanity. Another translation of our text is meaningless, meaningless. Says the teacher, utterly meaningless. Everything is meaningless. Well, alrighty then. So being a nerd, I did what comes natural. I Googled, checked Wikipedia. Did you know that Abraham Lincoln said in his address to Congress in 1862, of all I've ever seen or learned, that book seems to me the noblest, the wisest, and the most powerful expression of man's life upon this earth, and also the highest flower of poetry, eloquence, and truth. I am not given to dogmatic judgments in the matter of literary creation, but if I had to make one, I could say that Ecclesiastes is the greatest single piece of writing I have ever known, and the wisdom expressed in it the most lasting and profound. Okay? Thanks, Abe. Seriously, that's not what I expected to find. Here on one hand, you have the verses that are telling us everything is meaningless. And on the other hand, you have Abraham Lincoln saying this is the greatest thing he's ever read. So I need more Googling. It's widely believed that the author of the book was none other than Solomon. Solomon was, according to the Hebrew Bible, the Old Testament, the Quran, and the Hadiths, a fabulously wealthy and wise king of Israel who succeeded his father, King David. Not everybody gets mentioned in the Hebrew Bible, the Christian Bible, and the Muslim Bible. Plus, son of David. That's an interesting phrase. I think we hear that a little bit later. The Hebrew Bible credits him as the builder of the first temple in Jerusalem, beginning in the 4th year of his reign, and using the vast wealth that he and his father had accumulated. He dedicated the temple to Yahweh, the God of Israel. He is portrayed as great in wisdom, wealth, and power beyond either of the previous kings of the country. Solomon was an engineer. I love engineers. He was king and he was rich, but he was an engineer. I have a shirt. The shirt says, engineer, fixing problems you didn't know you had in ways you possibly can't understand. Love that shirt. Solomon greatly expanded his military strength, especially the cavalry and the chariot arms. He founded numerous colonies, some of which doubled as trading posts and military outposts. Trade relationships were a focus of his administration. So Solomon was an engineer, a king, a rich guy, a general, a diplomat, and an economist. Kind of makes the work we do seem a little bit insignificant. But wait, he did all these amazing things, and yet he declares they were all meaningless. If you read the whole book of Ecclesiastes, you will hear that happiness found by being the wisest is meaningless. Happiness for the sake of pleasure is meaningless. Happiness in toil or hard work is meaningless. Happiness in career advancement is meaningless. Happiness found in riches are meaningless. And on and on and on. Maybe it's just as simple as the children's story that we heard. Chasing happiness is going to make you crazy and dizzy and wear you out. As I read through Ecclesiastes in preparation for this message, I also found in chapter 9, verses 7 through 9, "Go, eat your food with gladness, and drink your wine with a joyful heart, for God has already approved what you do. Always be clothed in white, always anoint your head with oil. Enjoy life with your wife, whom you love, all the days of this meaningless life that God has given you under the sun, all your meaningless days." At the very end of the book we read, "Now all has been heard. Here is the conclusion of the matter. Fear God, keep His commandments, for it is the duty of all mankind. For God will bring every deed into judgment, and every hidden thing, whether it is good or evil." The more I think about it, the more I think it sounds like the old dog. Enjoy your life and those who you love, and those that love you. Do the stuff you need to do. Love and honor God. Treat others well. Let happiness follow you. In fact, if you go back and reread the gospel lesson and the lesson from Paul's letter, you hear the same thing. Get rid of anger and selfishness and anything else that gets in the way of happiness. Love God and each other. As I mentioned earlier, my family was not big into church. I remember how the family used to sit around the dining room table in the evening, and we'd sing, and we'd tell stories, and we'd give each other the business, and we'd laugh, and we'd just be happy. One song in particular was a favorite of my dad, and he passed a couple of years ago. Yesterday would have been his 90th birthday. So I want to let my dad preach the last minute to you. If you want to tap your foot, sing along, please do. Amen.
You're nobody till somebody loves you. You're nobody till somebody cares. You may be king, you may possess the world and its gold, but gold won't bring you happiness when you're growing old. The world still is the same, you never change it. As sure as the stars shine above, you're nobody till somebody loves you. So find yourself